The person who should take over, in my own opinion, I have listened to all these people who want to be president, and I think Jimi Wanjigi is the best.
So how is Jimi Wanjigi going to take over? Immediately Ruto resigns. Is it provided for in the constitution?
You know,
or the Gen Z will just...
When we talk about Ruto leaving, people start quoting the constitution. And William Ruto stay in office, he's violating the constitution while in office. So what is the difference?
So don't you think it's going to create more chaos? And let me just bring you...
But I am a sober person.
I see how Eugene is setting me up here for the question.
Before he comes.
Yes.
I am not someone who wants to support things that are not orderly. That's why I mentioned about an election next year.
So
do you know why I'm saying next year?
Why?
Because, and the lawyer is here, he will confirm.
Okay.
In our constitution about elections, it says we should hold an election on the second Tuesday of the 5th year.
Does it say anywhere there 5 years?
No.
Okay. So
Being the second Tuesday in August in every 5th year.
being the second Tuesday of August in every 5th
And
year.
what Willis is saying is absolutely correct.
Jimi Wanjigi kwa 90% ya maendeleo ya nchi, ufadhili wa maendeleo ya nchi hii alihusika moja kwa moja. Maana wakati wa Kibaki wakiwa na mtu anaitwa Dave Mwangi na wengine kina Saitoti mle, ndio walikuwa watu wa kwanza kufanikisha mchina kuingia Afrika. Na kwa hivyo kulifanyika deals na maandishi yakafanyika ya kuwa Jimi na wenzake waliokuwa pale, kwa sababu wao ndio wamefaulisha kumuleta mchina, alafu watamu market yule mchina katika nchi yetu na katika nchi ya Tanzania, Uganda, Ethiopia, Burundi, Rwanda, DRC, Malawi, Zambia kule. Kwa sababu through Exim Bank wakakuwa na maagano ya kwamba Jimi na wenzake watafanya campaign ndio miradi ya Afrika ifanyike kupitia kwa mchina. Maana wakati ule Kenya ilikuwa imemilikiwa na Amerika na Uingereza sana.
The current government we have is a criminal regime. They are delinquents that should resign, get out of power today. William Ruto asked, how does he get out? Resign, resign, resign. And that should be the clarion call of all Kenyans. Anytime you see that man, just tell him to resign, get out of office today. He can't solve our problems. All he's doing is killing us, killing our generations of the future. Anybody who kills their young and even has their government order such, right, is somebody who must leave like yesterday. Or one day, as I keep saying, he himself is defining his exit and what happens to him after that. Let him resign today, not even tomorrow. Get out of office. What they don't understand is that the people are sovereign. The people are the sovereign authority. And the people always win. Always. Always win. They will lose very badly and sooner than they imagine. This is not about 2027, it is about now. Okay?
Kenyans, tukubalianeni. We cannot allow ourselves kuwekelewa madeni as people enrich themselves and build generational wealth for their children, yet our children have nothing to inherit. We cannot allow that to happen. This country needs to be shut down for proper national debt audit, and it has to be done publicly. Na kila deni yenye imeshaichukuliwa ikuwe attached to the project it was supposed to do, and then we can see if that project was done ama hiyo pesa ilienda kwa mfuko za watu. According to Jimi Wanjigi, some of the money that is borrowed for this country does not even go through the Central Bank of Kenya. It's just taken in some funny banks overseas, and it never lands in this country. That is why utapata the Auditor General will be there. Anaona, yes, we have debt, but nobody has ever even seen the money. Hakuna mtu hata ashaisikia hiyo pesa ilifikanga ama ikufikanga. But the debt is there. So before atuongee kuhusu Finance Bill 2025, we need a proper national debt audit publicly.
So, Jimi Wanjigi was on Spice FM yesterday, and he painted a very, very grim picture of the Kenya we have today. And if whatever he said is true, then the politicians and the leaders we have had since 2013 have knowingly and deliberately been selling us back to slavery through debt. Because Jimi Wanjigi had his figures. He had the amount of debt that we have today, the amount of debt that we have paid, and the amount of money that we have ever borrowed. And the balance sheet was not balancing, meaning that the debt we have today is false and wrong. Number two, the leaders that we have had since time immemorial have deliberately been keeping us poor. And he gave an example. In 2014, private investors had an initiative to add additional 2,000 megawatts of power in Kenya. But the deal was frustrated by the same government. And this power would have created an environment for more investments to come to Kenya. But look where we are today. And Jimi Wanjigi's message was clear that Kenya needs a renaissance. Kenya needs a complete overhaul. The current politicians that we are seeing today have been part of a system that has held Kenya backwards. They have been part of a system that has lied to Kenyans, that has taken illegal debt, that has destroyed the education system, the healthcare system. They have been part of a system that has stolen from Kenyans. They have been part of a system that has destroyed Kenya. And these same politicians can now not be saviors to save us from this dying system. Because if indeed they were saviors, then they would have prevented whatever we have today. But they did not. So how then can they now come and claim to be saviors? How then can they come and claim that they are going to sort out the debt when they were the ones who brought us here in the first place? How then can they claim to sort out the education system or the healthcare sector when they were the ones who destroyed it? How then can they claim to bring more job opportunities when they are the ones who brought us here? They cannot. And therefore, Kenya needs a renaissance. So in 2027, we must make the decision to move Kenya forward. We must make the decision to liberate Kenya. We must make the decision to build better systems. Systems that work for us. Systems that create better education systems, better healthcare systems, better debt management. We must make that deliberate decision. Otherwise, this country will continue going back to the dogs.
What William Ruto talked last week, that man is frightened. He is frightened. Okay? This system is frightened. You hear them, the system talk about shooting people. They are frightened. They are caged. They're in a corner. Right? They're wondering, can they handle another one and another one? Like this. The whole world saw what we saw last week. Right? They are frightened. Now, they did not anticipate it. So it'll be interesting to see how they believe they are going to manage this particular revolution.
You cannot make a conducive environment for us to get jobs. You can't educate our children. You can't put enough food on the table. And because we're bringing up those issues, rather than solve the problem because there is a personal interest there, you're going to shoot us to keep us quiet?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because what choices do they have by solving the problem? You have two choices. You default or you say, I'm not paying it. Our position is that it is odious debt, which means that it is illegal debt that we should not be paying. As far as I'm concerned, that debt, we have no debt in this country. So that 70 shillings of every 100 should be wiped out. And I would wipe it out like yesterday. Right? But what are the consequences of these people? And William Samoei Ruto is one of them. He was part of creating that odious debt. He was in the government of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And they created that odious debt. In fact, William Samoei Ruto was the one given in the sharing of power the docket of finance. I know because I'm the one who did the MOU. His docket of finance. Rotich was his recommended appointee. So they know what they did. The minute you stop paying that debt, the creditors of that debt will look for them. The country will ask, why have we been paying that debt? We want whatever we paid to come back. What happens? They won't do it. So what is the other consequence? If you default, the economic ramifications that come out of a default will be much worse than you're talking today. They think they have stabilized the shilling, yet there's still economic pain. But I can tell you, default would mean the shilling is probably about 300-400 shillings
to the dollar.
All right? Everyone's life would literally come to a standstill. And that is more frightening than what they're currently doing. So, you say, postpone the problem. Sweep the problem under the rug. And if people come out, try and politicize it. Try and say, it's not about pain, it's political this, or it's tribe this, or it's that person, or it's this, or it's that. And hope that it's, I believe, after last year, they believed it was over. Okay? Now it has come back. I want you to imagine to 2027 that every single June 25th will be celebrated this way. Are we agreed, Wanokai?
Yes.
So in 2027, which is the so-called targeted election, we have, my deputy has a case in court trying to make sure that the Supreme Court adheres to what is in the Constitution.
Yeah.
But let us even say it's 2027. June 25th falls within the 3-month campaign period to the election. I want you to imagine these demonstrations during campaign time. All right? 2 months to the election. This government has no chance of surviving. All right? It will probably react the same way if that's how they react, killing people. Right? And they'll brandish it, God knows what. They may even try to create a state of emergency or something of the sort. But at the end of the day, right, they will not be able to stay in power. So what some of us are asking is, why wait until then? You can't solve the problem. All you want to do is turn Kenya into killing fields, right? Killing young people, killing our future generations, right? You're doing so economically, now you're doing so with the gun. Why are you in power? So what is happening is that people are not doing their numbers. Even the parliamentary committees are not doing their numbers. And if they are, right, they're ignoring what they're seeing.
Okay.
And they're continuing. And that's why I'm saying I am now talking about the regime of William Samoei Ruto. They are continuing, right, the impunity of the last 10 years. And they are sinking us into a much deeper hole than you can ever imagine at a faster rate. They are collapsing this economy with what they are doing. They are not addressing the real issue. And the real issue is, we have taken debt over and above what we should have taken. That is debt that is going to be with us for the next 60 years. That did not go towards anything, right, that we approved. And if we don't deal with it square on, we are going to collapse this nation of ours economically. And that collapse is going to come in the form, first and foremost, because you're going to see these tax revenues are going to get him nowhere. It is going to come with something called default. And when that happens, right, and I think the COB is ringing the gengele. Hapa kuna shida. Kuna shida. When it happens and it starts coming to Do's bank account and her M-Pesa, right, and anything she does, because you're going to start being told haircut, I want to see what Kenyans will do at that point. Because it means categorically that he's going to make us pay for what we never approved, that has never come for our benefit, right? and going to sink us further than these taxes are already sinking us.
The saddest realization of being a Kenyan is that your government wakes up every day to give you two options. That you either die by the bullet, and this bullet can get you anywhere, whether you're in the streets, in your house, in your balcony chilling, or you die by economic sabotage.
In 2022, most Gen Zs were too young to vote. But by 2027, 14 million Gen Zs will be eligible to vote, a massive increase of 79%. Back in 2022, youth aged between 18 and 34 made a total of 8.8 million of registered voters, accounting for 40% of Kenya's total voter base. Right now, Gen Z is aged between 13 and 28 years. This means millions will be ready to vote in 2027. The total number of youth voters is expected to hit 17 million, forming the largest and possibly most influential voting bloc in the country. This generation isn't just big in numbers. They have led protests, mobilized online, and called out for accountability. But the big question remains, will they show up at the ballot and use their numbers to change the game in 2027?
Now the next election,
yes.
Unajua hawa ndio watakuwa nasema fagia wote ama mtasema namba gani? This generation,
yes,
they use their might because they didn't vote. The largest vote in the last election.
Kenya, brothers, this is an advice from a guy who is a kid of a Syrian revolution. Record everything, document everything, every protest, every face you can get, document their faces, document police who shoots at you, document other protesters who try to do bad things, and then the media will brush everybody as terrorists or bad people. Get your phone out and record. That's your best weapon, your phone. Not a gun, not anything. Record, because that's how you hold people accountable. One day or another, the government will fall, and this will be evidence for later on. Trust me. It's happening all over the world with Syrians. So you can do the same thing. And free Gen Z in Kenya.
How low was the bar for us to vote an ICC suspect? Yes. In consecutive terms, ICC suspect number 1, Uhuru. ICC suspect number 2, Ruto. Yes. I am not surprised that this government is hunting and haunting the dissenters of this regime because they are using the Moi manual. Ruto ni mtoto wa Moi. Amefunzwa na Moi siasa za kuabduct watu, siasa za kuua watu, siasa za kuintimidate watu, na siasa za kutumia vijana vibaya. Na sisi tumekataa.
A man joins politics in 1992. There's bloodshed. He joins the parliament in 1997. Bloodshed. He's a major party in 2007, 2008. Bloodshed. His party's re-election is contested in 2018. Bloodshed. He becomes president in 2024. Blood spills on our streets every damn day. And the perfect example, there is no even perfect example, because what happened today was just crazy work, to be honest. And then the speech following after that, I don't know, man.
The bar was so low that Kenyan voters elected ICC suspects twice. And for some reason, we thought that whatever they were accused of, they wouldn't do it to their own countries. Tafakari ya baba.
Ruto, makosa utafanya 2027, acha tu nikuambie mapema. Ni ati tumepiga kura kuchange governance, tunataka good governance, alafu tunaona tuna lead kwa screen watu wamekupigia kura, utatuambia nani alikupigia hizo kura na hizo namba zenye una lead nayo mbele ulitoa wapi?
Abducting us and killing us won't stop us. Seizing the future of this nation. R.I.P. to our fallen soldiers. Yes, they knew that freedom had a price. This is our country, we're not giving up.
I don't know about you guys, but as for me, any content that is not related to what is happening in my country right now, I'm scrolling past it. In solidarity for those young soldiers who have been on the battle for justice, I just, my guilt, my Kenyan guilt cannot allow me to just be comfortable in watching other content. I feel like, right now we have to be on the know of what is happening in our country from time to time. I don't know about you, but as for me, that's how I feel. Thank you.
Hi Kenyans, mi sina maneno mingi. All I want to say is Ruto must go, like yesterday. Bye.
This is Selector Dede.
Wanadhani ya si bongo lala, ikikupita we bongo lala. Na walosema jana iwezi fika leo, tuko ground tunazoza. Hatujikuku mewaka sana, na mabisto wanachafua rada. Na walosema jana iwezi fika leo, tuko ground tunazoza. Hakuna mboka, peleke shuleni watasoma. Madaktari wamegoma, hapo sani Yesu atatuponya. Wambie punde imechoka sana, farasi bado ijapatikana. Ni mandai wanagonya na mali wanaponda, unakonda wananona. Maandamano, 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 amise maandamano, maandamano, maandamano,
Jam down, shuffle.